All right, students, here we are with week 4 with finale slash Sibelius. And you see in front of you what looks like kind of a mirror of the same song. I'll explain this just in a second. But in this session, we are going to talk about a few different things. First, we're going to talk about slurs versus ties, because as you know, they look very similar on a page, but they're completely two different tools. So I don't know that we talked about this in previous weeks, but we're going to dive into that, and this will be easy for you. The second that we're going to talk about is dynamics. Like if you look at this PDF right here, which I will be sending to you, you see mezzo piano, you see these hairpins kind of thing going in, forte, what have you. I'm going to talk you through how to add these kinds of dynamics to this finale file that I will be sending you. I'll send you, or with this message, you have this finale file attached within Canvas. So this is what you'll be looking at, and I'll also send you this PDF just for reference. So, and then lyrics, as you see these lyrics here, we'll be going through how to add lyrics to this finale file. So in essence, on this finale file right here, as you have it open, you are going to be adding all of these lyrics to this file, as well as adding these various dynamics to this file. But the first thing, let me show you how to add some slurs. All right, so I should have. Let me get rid of this slur that's right here. This slur that's right here. That's the only slurs on the score right now. So in this tool right here on your screen, however it is on your screen, and make sure in Windows that the main tool palette, simple entry palette, simple entry rests, and smart shapes are all highlighted. So that way you should be seeing them on your screen somehow, some way, depending on how your setup is. So in your main tool palette, if you click on this tool right here as it's highlighted Smart Shape tool, you'll see something that looks like a slur. And if you just rest your mouse over that, you'll see it says Slur tool. All right, so how that works is this. If you wanted to slur this E to this D, all you have to do is kind of highlight or hover over the first note and double click. I'm going to click, and it draws the slur for you. All right, so fairly harmless. So for instance, the same from here, this F to this E, I'm going to double click on this F. And there it is. All right, I'm going to get rid of these. Let's say you want to slur from, because it's a long phrase, from this E all the way down to this middle C. Then I'm going to double click on this first E. I'm going to hold down my mouse, that second click, and I'm going to drag. Then I'm going to let off here. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to double click. I'm holding down my second click. And as I move to the right, you see it gives me option of the next note. So right here, I'm still kind of holding down my second click. I'm going to let off. And there it is. It drew a slur all the way to there. Same from here. If I wanted to slur from this F to this middle C, I'm going to double click, and on my second click, hold the second click down. All right, you see how it does all that? You can even slur all the way down to another line if you want to. So moving back over here, I'm going to let off, and there it is. All right, before I kind of click off from this, you see it gives you various kinds of ways that you can amend this slur if you happen to want to. So I could take this right here and drag it down, take this here, drag it this way. However you want to manipulate the slur itself. Once upon a time, before these are called smart slurs, and they're called smart slurs because once upon a time, if I had drawn, say, this right here, and as you saw it trying to draw to start with, it would have drawn the slur right through this middle C right here. Okay, and so Finale added an algorithm that it analyzes the notes around it and tries to not hit them wherever possible. And again, that goes back to the idea of engraving that is a thing within Finale. And actually, just pardon me a second. I'm going to make sure this is still recording. And it looks like it is. All right, so sorry about that. Just wanted to double sure. Make sure that we are still capturing here. So to get rid of that slur. All right, so looking at our sample here, the slur is on Zaire and Zaire. All right, so on your version, you'll find those same notes and add those slurs in just like we talked about. All right, so that's what slurs look like. Ties is in the simple entry palette here, and it looks like this right here. So get that highlighted. Let me disengage anything else that may have been highlighted in that. So let's say from this A to this A needs to be a tie. I can just click on the first note, and there it is. For instance, from this G to this G. All right. So even though it looks very, very similar to a slur, it's not. Like from this E to this G, I can click right here for a tie, but as you can see, it's not going to connect to this G up here, so it looks completely incorrect. That's where obviously you go back and you would use the actual slur tool to connect those. And you can see how the tie below it in black doesn't look correct, but the red does. So let me get rid of those and go back to my tie tool. If I click on the first note again, it just disengages that tie. Okay, get rid of that. Okay, so that's slurs versus ties, and I think you should get a handle on that fairly quickly. All right, let's look at dynamics. So let's mezzo piano right here. So back to your main tool palette. Looks like it's the mezzo forte. It's the expression tool. Okay, highlight that. So now we are in that tool, ready to go. So this mezzo piano is lined up under this E right here. So let's click on this E. Double click on it rather. All right, go back to show all. Depending on how your system is set up, they're going to be buried in there somewhere. But if you go to show all, just kind of scroll, and they're going to be toward the top. All right, so where is it at? There's my mezzo piano. If you click on assign, all right, you see here what Finale is attempting to do is thinking about instrumental music. So it's putting the mezzo piano below it, which is correct if you were doing something for trumpet, violin, or what have you. But vocal music, as you see here, the dynamic goes above it. So we're just going to take this little box here, we're going to click on it and drag it up to a kind of a nice looking area. All right. Just thinking about, engraving. All right. Same thing with this forte. Right above this note right here. I'm going to double click on it. Opens up this tool. All right. Click assign. And drag it up to where it needs to be. Okay. All right. So this, I'm going to pick just anywhere in the song that we want to create a crescendo. I go to the same tool, this Smart Shape tool. You see what looks like a slur and a crescendo. Click on that. Highlights this box right here. Let's create a crescendo somewhere. Oh, let's say it's right here. All right. So I'm going to double click, and I'm going to hold my second click down, and I'm going to drag to the right. And you can see as I do that, moving from left to right, it's trying to lock in to the beat itself to give some give some clarity. So let's say I want this crescendo to be for that dotted half note right below it, then its value is going to be to right there. I'm still holding down my mouse. Now I'm going to let off. I've just let off. Okay. Just like the other, it gives you some tools that you can utilize there. Let's try another. Let's say I'm going to do a decrescendo, and I'm going to do it across these two bars from this C to this G. So I'm going to double click. See how it's kind of snapping in place to the G, right through it. All right, I'm going to let off. Now, let's say for some reason you wanted the mouth of this to be wider. Now, Finale is very, very good at building these in a good visual space already, but say you wanted to, this right here, if you click on this little box and drag up and down, you can open that mouth or close it further if you want to. But again, Finale is good at building those and a great way to start with. All right, so you generally don't have to worry about that. So throughout the rest of this finale file, as you have it, look at the PDF as I've given you and draw in each of these decrescendos, dynamics, and what have you. All right, now let's look at lyrics. You see lyrics on this screen here. Lyrics are pretty easy. On your main tool palette, you'll see a thing that looks like a quill inside of an inkwell. It's called the lyric tool. So I clicked on that. All right, and click on the note that you want to start typing in first. You'll see a cursor should pop up on your screen once you click on that first note. All right, and here we go. I'm typing in capital AS space THE space DEER space. All right, to get a hyphenated word, very, very simple. PANT, and I'm gonna press the hyphen on my keypad, hyphen ETH space. So between this PANT hyphen, you do not have to press space. It automatically goes to the next word for you. All right, so I'm gonna continue on. For the WA hyphen, it already jumps to the next note, TER, comma, so my soul. Okay, so easy enough. Now let's say you're working on a piece and there's a second verse or whatever line to it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to press my down arrow on my keypad. You see the arrow, it goes down a space, and I'm just going to make up something. So here is the second verse for this song of mine. Okay, whatever. Oh, I misspelled second. Let's see here. That's probably not hyphenated correctly. Let me see if I make that look a little better. Maybe what if it's S-E second? I don't know how a second is hyphenated. Anyway, so that's how you add your second verses. It'd be a third verse, fourth verse, fifth verse, same way. So there you go. So for your assignment this week, you would take this finale file, and there are no ties to add in, but you saw how to add those. You will add in all the applicable lyrics from this file, from the PDF, all of the dynamics, the lyrics and dynamics, and then you will upload this finale file back to Canvas in the assignment area there as given for this week. If you are unable to download Finale and have it properly installed on your computer there at home, then you will write me a submission response back to this, which as a first Easter egg, did you know? Yeah, you knew, but Easter egg. Darth Vader was Luke's dad. I know, surprise, right? So add that in your response. And then, the brilliant John Williams has been the amazing orchestrator, composition brilliant dude for the Star Wars franchise. So add that in your paper as well. So say Darth was Luke's dad and John Williams scored Star Wars. So include both of those in your response so that I know that you have watched this video in full. All right, so there you go. I'll be looking for your finale files or your Word document responses, those 2-page double-spaced documents, and we will continue on from there. All right, God bless.